But every now and then, you gotta have a come to Jesus meeting. And I'm getting ready. I need you to hear what I'm getting ready to say. I can no longer fight with my children. Can no longer argue and fight and stand toe to toe with you. I'm too old and too tired. And I have getting ready to be a 6-year-old. And I want to preserve my life where I can see her walk down the aisle. And I'm not going to die early because y'all done gave me a heart attack fighting and arguing with you. And so I want to clear some things up. And if you have any questions, please feel free, because I'm there. Amen. First of all, I want to say this, that I have not been perfect. Have not been a perfect man, nor a perfect father, not a perfect leader. But I am striving to do the best that I can. Yes, sir. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. And I have always given you the best of me, even when I didn't feel like it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I have on purpose, in purpose, opened up every area of my life. I have not been bashful about what I've done or what I haven't done. I try my best to be as honest as you can stand. Some of y'all can't stand my level of honesty. Are you listening? And so it is important to me that y'all get where I'm coming from this morning. Some of y'all just don't like it. I don't. I don't. Because your spirit is ugly and nasty. That's the truth. It's just that I'm not finna. I founded this. Me and God. Hello. And I think probably 99% of y'all weren't even around when we started. Amen. And so I have been open, I've been clear, but if you want me to give you the benefit of the doubt, you got to give me the benefit of the doubt too. Amen. And so this is not something that I've been thinking about here recently, but I have been thinking about this for about 2 years. I've been thinking about decreasing my spiritual children's list. Why would you do such a thing? Because if you don't have a revelation of what a spiritual father is, I can't help you no way. I am a father in Zion. What does that mean? That God gave me the ability to father. Okay. If you are one of my children, I've never treated you any different. That's right. Hello. Anytime y'all wanted to come to my house, you can just show up. Guaranteed you're going to eat. Yes, right. If you come skinny, you're going to leave fat. Y'all ain't going to say that. Thousands and thousands of dollars are spent on Christmas where we just load my house down with people everywhere. That's true. Christmas gifts stacked to the ceiling, trying to make sure that everybody gets something. Come on, y'all ain't saying nothing. I've bought very expensive gifts. One year I bought pearl earrings and Coach purses, and y'all ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
And somebody left their pearl earrings on the. So y'all forget about that. That kind of stuff hurts my feelings. You know, because I'm at the store with my $50, trying to buy 75 gifts.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. And we're trying to be thoughtful. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And so all the breaks that we fixed. And I'm not gonna help you move, but I'll send somebody. Are you listening to me? But I used to help. Got too old for that now. Going up and down those stairs. But I will come and tell you what to do and what not to do.
That's right.
But it's beginning to hurt my heart now. I'm at an age now where I'm becoming a little sensitive. And the question I've always asked myself, how much more do I got to do to show my love? How much more do I have to take? How long will I have to continue to be disrespected because you having a bad day? You know, some of y'all can walk in this building, I'm the founder, and don't even speak.
Come on, Bishop.
And call yourself in right standings with God. No. And so you need to start coming and speaking to me. Hi, how you doing? Do you need something?
That's all right. Tell them how to treat you, Bishop.
Now see, so if I walk by you and didn't speak,
That's right. Teach us how to treat you.
what's wrong with him today?
That's right.
I tell you something, I can be, y'all don't really know me, but I can shut it down. I can look at you as if you don't even exist. I choose not to do that. But I'm going to start giving y'all a taste of your own medicine. You see how it feel. But I'm going to send a little woof with mine. So we're clear of what I'm doing. But I need you to know, I need you to understand something. That I have a daughter, Christiane, who lives in North Carolina, that I've probably done more for some of you than I've done for her. All of a sudden now it got quiet in the house. Okay? And so I'm telling you, it's not fair to me when you take a notion to disrespect and dishonor me. We're not doing it. And if you happen to hear something about me that you don't like, please pick up the phone and hear my side.
That's right.
Amen.
Before you make a decision to jump into the ocean, will you please call me and say, hey, this is what I heard about you. I promise you there's an explanation.
That's right. That's right.
Are you listening to me? And so, again, I love you. Now watch this. If I've done anything, at any given time, please forgive me. I repent to you if I hurt you. If it's something that the Lord had me to say, I ain't repenting for that.
That's right. Don't apologize for that.
But I will apologize for you being hurt by what he said. But I was walking up my stairs the other day, and the Lord called me. He said, you my battle axe. So a battle axe is what they used to hold in their hand. And they went to battle. Well, I'm the axe that God holds in his hand. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. And so I am called to rebuke. I'm called to point. I'm called to instruct. That's what he could have about. That's what I'm called to do. And I can't apologize for what God called me to do. But if you would glean from it, the only thing you're going to get is some good growth.
That's right. That's facts.
Are you listening? And so some of y'all decide to come to church whenever you decide you want to come to church, and that's fine and dandy. But can I tell you, you ain't going nowhere
That's right.
Oh, God. Help us, Lord.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere. And so, if this is your church home, you need to find yourself here on Sundays.
Right.
Huh? That's right. Now, we call Corona. Well, man, there's Corona in Walmart. You in there. There's Corona at the hairdresser. You in there. There's Corona in the mall, and you there. Come on, there's Corona at work, and you there.
Right. Corona in the restaurant.
At the car wash. At the Chinese restaurant. So all the places that you like going, Corona is there too. And so you might as well just come on and come to the Corona church and just tell the Lord thank you.
That's right. That's right.
There's more folks than died in church because they went to church trying to serve God. We have, I think we're probably about 98, 97% vaccinated up in here. That was not by accident. We did that on purpose. We've never told you not to wear a mask. If your comfort in wearing a mask that makes you more comfortable, then just be with it. But don't get mad at me because I ain't wearing one because I'm vaccinated. Yeah, I ain't saying that.
That's right.
But that's my choice. It is your choice to do what's best for you and your family. Amen. But now, if you're going everywhere else, this is my point. If you're going everywhere else, under the bridge, and you go to the casino, and wherever there's money, come on now. So anyway, go with me to 1 Corinthians, starting with chapter 4. I kind of want to teach this. I'm not going to do a bunch of hooping. I don't hoop anyway. Every now and then I'll hoop, but not today. Hey Jessica, how you doing? You speak to me today?
Front Street.
Did you speak?
I spoke. How you doing, man?
Okay.
Just in case I did. All right.
Now, if God called you here, if he called you here, and you have not been properly released from this ministry by one of the elders here, and you ain't coming to church because you mad, you are out of order. I'm going to tell you something. You ain't hurt me. You hurting yourself.
That's right.
You ain't saying that.
That's true.
All right, Brandon, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Starting at verse 1.
Yep.
Let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God.
Read on.
Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful.
So when God, look at me, when God has gifted you, hey Eric, when God has gifted you, look at me, when God has gifted you, you must be a good steward of what he's gifted you with.
Yes, sir.
Say, I must be.
I must be.
That means you got to keep that gift polished. Come on. Keep it on top. Keep it where it needs to be. So at any given time, when God tells you to do something, you can do it and not be afraid to do it.
That's right.
Hey, listen. Read out what it says.
But with me it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you.
So in other words, what he said, I don't care what you think or how you feel about me. That's where I am today. I don't care. Because this has cost me everything.
Lord have mercy.
To get where I am today, it has cost me everything. Y'all don't know on a monthly basis what we have to experience to even stay in this building.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You have no idea. You have no idea what we have to go through and to try to get Christmas gifts for these babies.
Yes. Lord have mercy.
And then you get the gifts and this is it. Your face all turned up and you ain't contributed a nickel.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I'm going on down through all of that. Yes, sir. Read on what it say.
But with me it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you,
Read on.
or of man's judgment.
Yes, sir.
Yea, I judge not mine own
I don't
self.
judge myself. Read on.
For I know nothing by myself.
I don't know nothing. Read.
Yet am I not hereby justified.
Read.
But he that judgeth me is the Lord.
God is the one. Look at me. God, and don't ever forget this. Ever forget this. When you are called to ministry, God is the one that can chastise you. You don't get to chastise me.
That's right.
You don't get to chastise God. I do. And so, stay in your lane. Stay in your place. Hello? And you won't get your wires twisted. Read what it say.
Therefore, judge nothing before
It's time. Read.
until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness.
And so my failures and my mistake does not diminish who I am in God. Just like it does not diminish what you are, who you are in God. All right, listen to me. So if I lost the house, the cars, and the land like I have in the past, it still didn't disqualify me to do what I'm doing.
That's true.
Hello? Read what it say.
And will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. And then shall every man have praise of God.
Read.
And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes.
Read.
That ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another.
So look at me. Be real careful who you puff up. Because it could go to the head. See, one thing about this house, y'all don't do a lot of puffing up with me. Y'all don't talk about my greatness. Y'all don't talk about my greatness. Y'all don't talk about my strength. You don't talk about laying hands on the sick and they recover. Because to be honest with you, there should not be an empty seat in this building if you wouldn't told somebody. Of all the goings-ons in this church and how we get up in the realm of the spirit and stuff are going to breaking off for you.
Jesus.
If you really believed in this house, you would do better.
Yes, sir.
Read, what does it say?
For who maketh thee to differ from another?
Read.
And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory as if thou hadst not received it?
So you said you received it, but your behavior said something different.
Oh God.
So you're saying one thing with your mouth and doing something else with your actions. But I'm going to tell you something. If I told you I loved you and took a 2x4 and hit you in the head with it, is that love? No. So my words are not equal in my what? My actions. Y'all's word don't equal your actions. Listen, even when it comes time to worship, sometimes y'all want to and sometimes you don't. Not knowing that the person that's sitting right next to you need a realm. And they need us to enter into a realm where God can deliver them. Hello. But you should have went mad and you woke up mad. You just got up out the bed pissed.
Come on, Bishop.
That's right.
Then you want to bring that to church and rain on the parade.
Come on. Jesus. Help us.
Look at your neighbor and say, did you do that?
Did you do that?
If you did, you give me $50 right now. Read what it say.
Now ye are full, now ye are rich.
Listen to this now.
Ye have reigned as kings without us.
Without.
And I would to
In
God.
other words, God has blessed you. Hello? Y'all didn't invite us into the reindeer game, but you're still blessed. Read what it says.
And I would to God ye did reign, that we also might reign with you.
Read.
For I think that God has sent
So
forth
you
us.
so blessed, but you ain't passing nothing down to me. That's what he's saying. He said, if I'm anybody's apostle, I'm y'all's.
Facts. We better talk.
That's what Paul said.
Lord.
If I'm anybody's apostle.
Yes, sir.
If I'm anybody's prophet,
That's right.
I'm God.
Yes, sir.
No, you're right.
The Lord didn't have me to say some stuff to pour y'all out of all kind of stuff.
That's right. Praise for it.
Some of y'all, I'm telling you, some of y'all was on y'all way to Jack's or Dyer's. We went up in the realm of the spirit and pulled that thing back off of you. And when you thought you was getting away with something, you couldn't even make it to your destination before God intervened. Because what you were going to get was going to be worse than what happened before you got there. I want to talk to me. Are you listening to me? And so I ain't got a problem with it. It is what it is. Hello. Y'all driving cars, we prophesied. Working jobs. Jessica Best brother never tell me nothing about you ain't no prophet. Ever since I've been knowing her, everyone I didn't give about a job and it come to pass.
Every single one.
Please.
You
Girl, please sit down. Read what it say.
For I think that God hath set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to
So
death.
while y'all are enjoying the benefits of what's on my life, I want you to hear what I'm telling you right here.
Lord help.
While y'all enjoy the benefits, we go through hell.
Come on.
Because we're constantly on the front line. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Right? Okay. Now, I'm going to show you your honor. Sharon calls me one day this week. Now, the woman just had a light stroke. This is what she said. She said, I feel like I need to give myself over to more intercession for you.
Jesus. Come on now.
Come on.
I said she had a light stroke.
A light stroke.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's on her.
She walks with her,
Yeah.
but she said, until I die,
Till I die.
I got you.
My God.
Oh, yeah.
Might not have the strength I used to have,
Come on.
but I'm going to take the strength that I do have and I'm going to loan it to you. That's called honor. That's called respect. That's called building. He didn't answer the phone.
Come on. You better speak to it.
Girl,
Lord,
sit down.
help us today.
Jesus,
Speak to it.
Jesus.
Hold your peace. Lord have mercy.
Y'all have gotten so good at complaining.
Listen. Better speak on it.
Y'all done forgot where you come from.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
That's right.
Some of y'all met you didn't have a job.
Wow.
You said in your quiet over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You needed help with getting a house. You needed help with getting the car. And if I didn't go with you, I called somebody.
Right.
Yep.
Read, what does it say?
For we are made a spectacle unto the world,
Listen now.
and
Read
to
on.
angels,
Read on.
and to men.
Yes.
We are fools for Christ's sake, but ye are wise in Christ. We are weak, but you are strong.
Are you listening to me?
You are
And
honorable.
So listen again. While y'all enjoy the fruits of our labor,
Lord help us.
y'all, everything I get is a fight.
Facts.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think y'all hear me.
It's the truth.
Everything is a fight. It's a juggle.
Yes, sir.
It's taken from over here and putting it over there.
Yes, sir.
I take it from over there and putting it over here. It's a struggle. But you know what? We do it without complaining.
That's right.
Ooh-wee.
As y'all complaining.
Big facts.
Read what it say.
You are honorable, but we are despised.
Read.
Even unto this present hour, we both hunger and thirst, and are naked, and are buffeted, and have no certain dwelling place. And labor, working with our own hands. Being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it.
Read.
Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and are the offscouring of all things unto this day.
He's talking about the apostolic ministry. He's talking about the people who speak into your life. I was thinking this morning, if I died today, I wonder when you walk past the casket and see my beautiful face, I wonder could you say, wow, I wish I would have treated him better. Or I did my best for him. I always tell folk, the worst thing you can do is let somebody you love slip out of this world. And you didn't give them the roses while they were alive. Because when you get to that final place right there, ain't nothing you can say.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't nothing you can do. That's why I tell you all the time, hey, I don't care how mad at you, I don't care how mad you are at your mama, at your daddy, go get that straight.
That's right. That's right.
Because when that thing is, when the day of the finale, that ain't nothing to play with. I'm going to tell you something else. That graveyard is cold.
Very cold.
Even if it's hot, it's still cold.
You're right. You're so right.
And to think that you finna leave your mama
Out there. That's right.
in a cold grave.
You're talking right, Dad. Talking right.
Can you imagine some people not being in your life? Some people, they need to go. But some people, they are such of a strong tower in your life, life would be difficult without it.
That's right.
And that's real.
That's right.
People in my life just like that. Hello?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Read what it says.
I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet have ye not many fathers.
Now listen, that instructor, it means boy teachers, or boy tutors, or boy instructors, or the commentary says that they are basically bus drivers. They take you to school. But he says, but not many fathers. So, I cannot be a father if you don't have a revelation of me being a father to you.
Right, right. That's right.
So this is the problem. I'm gonna park right here. This is the problem. If your father was not there, he was there but not there. Hello. That means that you have a fathering issue.
Right.
Right.
Say yes.
Yes.
Say it again.
Yes.
So any father that you deal with, whether it's a stepfather, whether it's a spiritual father, whether it's a brother who's trying to be a father to you, you are going to struggle in this area until you get a revelation of what God is trying to give you.
God.
So to rebuke a daughter, to rebuke a son as a father, see, Chris don't have a choice.
Right.
When I get him, he got.
Right.
Ain't nowhere to go.
You know where to go.
The rest of y'all, you have a choice. If you give yourself a choice.
Right.
Or you might say, this is my father, I'm going to hear what he has to say, I'm going to walk in there.
Yes,
That's it.
Hey, listen, Lanaya, Landon, ain't no choice. They get all this knocked off. All that be gone. See the difference? And so when you have a revelation of a spiritual father, so you can't call me daddy if you don't really mean that, because it's going to be tried.
multiple times.
Because when I come to get that, when I come to mess with that, when I come to pull that out of you, it's going to say ouch, it's going to hurt. But just know I love you. Come on, let me give you this revelation. Watch this out here. Brittany, when they lost the baby. See, I got to do this because this is what I'm talking about. So she at work. Me and John. So I go to the house. I'm visiting, checking on John, checking on her. She at work, checking on John. How come he didn't go when she was there? Well, I was checking on John. I don't know what y'all saying. So we get there. The baby's room was all set up. The diapers and all the little dresses was all the little hangers and everything was just so set, so nice and pretty. And the Lord said, this is an idol. This is a shrine. And it has to be dismantled. Now, I told John said, I'm coming to your house. You let this blow. So when she gets home, she sees her room, her shrine, dismantled. You felt what? Say it again.
Pissed.
Say it louder.
Pissed.
You black and you white.
I was completely pissed off.
And then what'd you do?
Started going off on him and asking who did it and then you.
Okay. And so then what?
Y'all didn't do nothing.
But then what?
When?
What did you do with that? What did you do with us doing that? What did you do?
Eventually?
Mhm.
I mean, I had to just deal with it eventually.
What'd you say?
I had to deal with it.
Did you call and cuss me out?
Yeah, we had words.
But did you cuss me out?
I didn't cuss you out, but we had words.
Okay. Was I afraid of your words?
No.
Okay. Did I just say, well, Britt, it
Right.
is what it is? Now, that right there, our relationship was tested.
Right.
Whatever y'all say.
Absolutely.
She had a revelation who I am.
Yes.
That's the only thing that saved you.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, so when I move in your life, I'm trusting
Yes.
that our relationship is strong enough to deal with this spanking I'm finna give you. You see where I am?
Yes.
I have to, y'all ain't saying, I have to trust that you know me.
Yes. That's true.
I have to trust that. And guess what? And sometimes I thought we had something better
Yeah, we actually did.
than we had.
Yes, sir. It'll
Right there.
Because after the whooping is over, after the rebuke is finished, then we don't see you no more. Because you're mad. And I said, oh, wow. I thought, well, you was calling me dad and daddy and you the man and you the best daddy in the world until I rat-a-tat-tat. When you rat-a-tat-tat, if that can change your feelings about me, then we didn't have nothing in the beginning.
My God.
So if I call you one of my children, I mean that. You get what Chris gets, what Christian A gets, what Mia gets, what's that child right there? It's her, and Lanaya. And see, you get, come on, you get what they get, because I don't make differences.
Right.
You need a place to lay your head, we got you.
Yeah.
You need to drive a car, we got you. I can just go on and on and on and on, but I'm just trying to tell y'all finna mess up a good thing.
Come on now. Help us, God.
Because my heart's tired.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say this again. I'm trusting that our relationship, you seeing it the same way that I see it. In other words, you've given me permission to get you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Y'all want a fair weather spiritual father.
Yeah.
You got the wrong one.
Jesus.
When you call me, I'm getting in it. I'm bringing my whole entire being in it.
Those are facts.
Because that's who and what I am.
Yeah.
But I'm finding out some of y'all can't stand that. And so I'm going to tell you what I don't like doing, Zacho. I don't like I don't like when I'm moving. I got to figure out what can I say and how can I say it and where to say it and these supersonic sensitive and I hate all that. But I've had to learn
how to deal with people on their level.
That's right.
Now, it's not comfortable for me because I don't like all that.
Yeah.
You gotta find a certain vocabulary. And you gotta say it in a way that it's too much work in my brain, and I ain't got a kind of vocabulary anyway.
Lord have mercy.
I'm straight. You a hoe? Stop being a hoe.
Period.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
You say, you've been somewhat promiscuous in your life. I ain't going through all that. Stop being hoish.
That's how you do it.
It hurts to find out the people that's called me father for years really didn't mean it. You talking about an awakening?
Yeah.
You talking about restructuring my heart system? Because I can't afford it no more. I seen Kenny Boo last week. I seen him. I said, Kenny Boo, you've been taught way better than this. I know. Kenny Boo, you say I know again, I'm going to take my hand and slap you in the face. Get yourself, I'm coming back. No. Get yourself together, son. You better than this.
Yeah, come on.
You better than you got too much word in you to be living like this.
Yeah.
That's a father.
And I got in my car, ain't one of my business. Left his behind walking. Your decision for me to father you is completely up to you. But in case you didn't know, whether I'm your father or not, you still gonna get God.
That's right.
It's just under the apostolic, I'm a prophetic, but you still God.
Still God.
I rebuke people ain't my kids. I'm like, you don't do it. Read it again, Brandon.
14.
15.
15. For though ye have 10,000 instructors,
10,000. You have many, look at me, you have many people on this journey that will teach you, that will impart to you, that will deal with you, that will teach you things. But you don't get many fathers. Matter of fact, if you do the commentary, you get one.
That's right.
You get one spiritual father. You get one. So you better save your choice. Because once you lock in, that's it.
Yeah.
And when they dead, it's the same thing as burying your parents. Some of y'all, we talk, and sometimes we laugh and joke, Mom Jay, about my funeral. Who gonna preach the funeral? I'm gonna tell you this right now. Don't count on him. Forget it. Don't even call him, because it ain't happening. Don't call Justin. It ain't Brandon. Just don't even do it. Go find somebody that ain't never met me. Let them preach. It's gonna be a mess. Now, listen to me. That is really honor.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I don't want to sing.
I ain't playing
I ain't that's all about. But he would love that way. He might love it. But he gone now. But if he love it, why he leave?
Ain't nobody cooking, ain't nobody doing nothing.
You get 10,000 many. His point is you get many instructors. You get many. But you don't get many fathers.
That's right.
When I tell you I love you, the good kids, the not so good kids, and the bad ones, I love you anyhow.
That's true.
And there is not anything that I would not do for you because I love you. For real. I will take my last. I'll take my rent money. I'll take the church rent money if you need it. I'm serious. I've done it a million times. But I'm telling you something. It's got to be a saloon door. It's got to go both ways. So I'm not, listen, I am no longer chasing none of my kids no longer. And I mean that. You can throw it out the window. You can watch the car with it, but I can show you, but I can't tell you. Because I didn't got tired now. I'm tired. My heart's tired. When I lay in my bed sometimes, my little heart just be doing that. Worried about some of y'all.
Yeah.
What they doing. I'm laying in my bed, not bothering nobody, and here come a vision. Who do you call? This is clear.
Jesus.
I see this is clear. Them knocking on your door. Seeing what you got on. See how I'm looking at you, I ain't looking at nobody else. I don't want to scare nobody. But I'm telling you, I have not treated you any different from even with the things that God has shown me about you.
Yeah.
Do you know I hear conversations? I hear conversations. I can hear them. And so dealing with all of this stuff that I'm hearing and feeling, God still says, love them. Some of y'all just will not tithe. You just will not do it. And then trying to figure out why you ain't got nothing.
Lord have mercy.
Help us, God.
We didn't say this all the time. Women, go get your femininity. Some of y'all still wearing jeans every day. So they ain't got one skirt. So I'm not up here dreaming this stuff up.
That's right.
God is instructing. If you want your life better, go that way.
Right?
Yes.
Facts.
That is so true.
What I said, if you want to get married, people that want to get married get what? They get married. Now, y'all look at me crazy when I say that.
It's the truth.
If you want to get married, you can get married.
Yes, you can.
But now, if he's got to be 6 foot, 3, and he's got to have an afro, and then an afro that he can braid his hair, all that right there, and he's got to have big muscles, and all of his anatomy got to be certain sizes and lengths, and all that stuff. And then all that.
Being a father, though, you still being a father.
That's why you can't, and that's why you're still single, because you trying to do you. And God said, no, I want you to do me. You get a man, and he's so fine, he tell you, I need the mirror. Say too much. Too much. Say it again. Say it again. Say too much. Too much. I am a spiritual father.
You are.
But am I one to you?
You are.
Kiki, on her exodus going to California for Thanksgiving, she made sure we had a ooey gooey and we had a combo.
Yes,
I was
sir.
supposed to call you and tell you about them ribs, but you know I'm forgetful, so you should have got in your car and came on over there. See, next time you're gonna learn. Just give me time to come on here.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
A spiritual father is supposed to tend to you. You are supposed to be able to call your spiritual. Kenyatta McFarland, she lives in Hannibal, Missouri. This young lady gave me a birthday party in Hannibal.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
What am I saying? That if you don't, somebody else will. That's why I don't worry about it. Because whatever is right, God gonna make sure I get it.
That's true.
She drove to Hannibal to Oklahoma City, came to the meeting, then came to my house and stayed and then was crying because she couldn't stay longer. Because she wanted to be around her daddy.
That's right.
Are you listening to me? I cannot go to Hannibal if we don't go to her house. They feed us, her and Larry. And they feed us good too. I'm just trying to tell you that y'all gotta get with the program.
That's right.
You ain't gotta buy me nothing. Just respect me.
That's right.
I want to see you do well. I want to see you do well in all things.
Yes, sir.
But I got some bad kids in this house. I got some hard-headed kids
Yes, sir.
in this house. And I'm trying to help. I'm talking to you today. You will no longer get the opportunity to disrespect me. You will get your face slapped now. Because I'm not doing them or playing with you. You're going to get a rebuke of your life that disrespect me again. And see if you
That's
don't get
right,
God.
Bishop. It's
That's
an
right.
honor.
And I'm serious on the heart attack. Because God, if I don't do it, God gonna have to. And just know,
You don't want God
you
doing
would
that.
prefer God to do it than me. I mean, for me to do it, than God.
That's true.
Not many fathers. Most of my children, my spiritual children, they have fathering issues.
That's true.
I'm fully aware of it. Doesn't mean it's your Jessica's father died when she was how old? 4. She was 4 years old. So she didn't even get an opportunity. Right. And so I've always walked with Jessica as a father, but I've never mandated that from her. One day we were talking on the phone, and I said, well, how do you know that God didn't pick me to be your spiritual father? How do you know that he didn't ask God to let me be what he wanted to be? Oh, y'all ain't see, that's what I'm saying.
That's right.
That's true.
Have I ever said, you gotta call me at any given time? Have I ever made you feel crazy?
No.
None of that. I don't think that Jessica, she called me Bishop, she don't call me father or daddy, but every now and again, she said, that's our daddy, our spiritual daddy. Now, but I get it.
Yes, sir.
Not angry with her.
Right.
Hey, listen to me. Jessica Tate called me prophet. That's her revelation. And then she'll say, well, you are my spiritual father, but she called me Prophet Calvin.
That's right.
But that's her revelation.
That's right.
So according to the revelation that God has given you about me and you,
Yeah.
not me and Kiki, but me and you. Who am I to you?
Right.
Jesus said, who do they say that I am?
That's right.
And then he says, who do you say I am?
Right.
And so today is a day of reckoning. I want you to get a revelation of who I am to you. And if I'm not your father, I am not mad about it.
That's right. That's right.
I hear you.
Because some of y'all finna get a call from me, and I'm shutting it down. I'm marking your name. I'm blotting it out because I'm tired. I cannot keep fighting with you for you to do something better. This is for you. It ain't for me. I'm doing what God called me to do. I'm trying to get you to do what God called you to do. And while we were out here doing booty calls and all our emphasis on the booty call, but not on God, that's the problem. But really what you're asking me to do is leave you the hell alone. Without saying, yeah, I'm saying, hey,
Yes, sir.
you asking me to don't bother your stuff. I ain't made like that. It's time for you to find somewhere else to go.
That's right.
Somebody who ain't gonna bother you.
That's right.
But I'm not calling that. I'm not calling the silence.
That's right. That's right.
I pick fights.
Yes, sir.
I do.
That's right.
The Lord had me to say things to you on purpose to get a response. He does. I'll call you. You just be having a wonderful day. What about this right here? What about this right here? What? This right here. What about this? Because that's what I'm called to do.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yes, sir.
love when Matika comes to my house. I love it. Matika comes to the house and gets on the internet to get away from his car. I just bless him. But really, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what children do. They come and they partake of what Daddy has.
That's right. That's right.
My tools. They partake of it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You come to my house, I'm gonna tell you something. We got how many freezers? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wait. The white one, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 freezers. I'm telling you, listen to me. They full.
Yeah.
You know why they full? In case y'all need something. You know I'm gonna go in the freezer and get stuff out the freezer to cook it? We're gonna buy it! Ain't that crazy? But in my mind, I'm saying, what if somebody needs it? Listen, because you don't know me.
Yes, God.
You don't know what I'm made out of.
That's right. Jesus.
I ain't been perfect.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I made 100 billion mistakes. Miss Al. I'm gonna tell you, and some of them, what I'm calling mistakes, were the mistakes that was on purpose.
Right.
Yes, I hear you.
And see, y'all looking at things now, y'all hearing that, but some of y'all do the same thing.
That's bad.
Your mess up, it is on. You doing it with your eyes. Your eyes are wide open. You ain't trying to hide, dog. I'm just gonna do it. And when John preached the Romans and freed us. Listen. One day, did you hear me? The weight has got to be put on you. And if we're not a well-oiled machine, it's possible that this could be dismantled.
Yes. Jesus.
Please hear me.
Jesus.
When I go to Oklahoma City, I can't tell you how many times they call me daddy. My daddy, this is my daddy, this is my daddy, this is my daddy. Me and James Baker, we reconciled, I think last week. Troubles, he used to troublesome, just trouble. But he finally got it. And he said, man, I love you. Please forgive me. I said, you a son, you'll always be with me. So I don't believe people leave me. I don't walk away from people. If I walk away from you, you pretty bad. Yeah. No, I'm serious. If I walk away from you, you are destructive. Because I don't leave people. People leave me, but I don't leave people. I'm called to stay with you. I'm called to walk with you. You understand? But the reason why I am saying what I am saying, first of all, I don't want to preach social, psychological issues no more. I don't want to do it. Like right now, my hands are oily. That means somebody today gonna get healed. That's where I want to live at. I want to live in that range. I don't want to come. Listen what I'm saying. I don't want to come back down here.
Please.
To deal with this kind of stuff. But I also got to deal with the thing that keeps breaking my heart.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if you don't want to be here, and we'll see how good it goes for you. And what you're going to find out is that this thing is going to follow you wherever you go.
Right.
A musk ox will get a whiff of his smell, and he will just go to running, try to get away from his smell, until he has a massive heart attack. And that musk ox, he dies. He's trying to get away from himself. Some of y'all trying to get away from you. And I'm telling you, you got to, You got to bring that to God because He's the only one can deliver you from it. Say God. God is the only one that can deliver me from this. You're running from something that you ain't going to get away from. You got to hit that thing head on. You listening to me? So, cycle, say, I'm coming out of my cycle today. Say, now watch this right here. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Okay. I need something. What you moving for? Because you don't know what I need, but you're just moving.
Anticipation. Get prepared. Get prepared.
Okay. Let me some nice shoes, sir. What size are they? Cut the toe out. Come on. Stand right there. Come here. Stand right here. Brenda, come stand right here. You, I need you, shorty. Your mama back there. Your mama back there. You're short. You got it from her. You got short from her. Don't talk back. Hush. What do y'all see? What y'all see? For me. What you see?
They all have glasses.
Okay.
They all black.
Are your sons?
Okay.
They all have facial hair.
What else?
Facial hair.
What else? They all different. What else? Huh?
Different sizes.
Say it again. They're my sons. What else?
They're all kind of standard. They're all obedient.
Say they all got watch, all got shoes. It's pretty good.
They're all
All right. What else?
They all good looking.
I want you to take a good look. What do you see?
I see you represented in them in different ways.
Okay. What else? What you see? Huh?
Obedience.
Obedience?
Yeah, they all
What
got
else you
up,
see?
and they all got up and did what you said.
How have I ever rebuked you?
They nervous.
How have I rebuked you? How have I rebuked you? We gotta be no age. The first time I got you, how did it make you feel?
I was hurt.
You was hurt? And what else?
I was hurt. I was confused.
Embarrassed?
Oh yeah, embarrassed.
Embarrassed. That's always the good one, is embarrassment. See, that's where the devil lives. He lives in the area of embarrassment because when you receive a rebuke from God, the enemy says he could have got different. He could have did it a different way. He could have said it a different way. He could have got in here. He could have did it. He could have back. He could have that. See, so, but what was God trying to do?
Kill pride.
Huh?
Deliver.
Say it again.
Kill pride.
Did y'all hear that? When God deals with you out loud and in public, it's because He's already told you in private. And you didn't hear.
Yes.
So He said, I'll make it plain this time.
Right.
We got you?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Fight all his life.
Yeah.
How it make you feel?
I mean, hurt, physically hurt, emotionally hurt. All of them hurts.
All hurts. How we got you? How it make you feel? Irritated. Be careful, guy. What else?
Maybe want to move around.
You want to move around? Okay. I got you.
Yes, sir.
How it make you feel?
I just didn't want to disappoint you with God.
Now, what's the difference now?
He put you with God.
The difference is they got fathers. Like you can tell who has had a father. He had his dad in his life, so he's seen it. He didn't. I don't know about his relationship with his dad, but he was from birth.
He said, embarrassed, hurt. He said,
Emotional, physical,
he said,
frustrated.
Wanted to move around.
he said.
I don't want to disappoint you.
Or God, it wasn't about him.
Did you hear that? So I need you to see this. All sons.
Yeah.
But how they deal with chastisement.
Right.
Them three are the same. His is different.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because his is a revelation for you and a place of honor. He said, I didn't want to disappoint him or God. So he attached his hearing what you said, your rebuke to, okay, if I get this right, then God ain't going to have to judge it. Like, I need to get this right because I want to disappoint you.
So if you were going to pick a spirit that you would like to have, which one would you pick? Out of these 4 men. Why?
Because it's going to be easier for him to self-correct because he's not taking it personally.
It ain't about him.
See, this is why it's taking so long
That's a good teacher.
in the area of development.
That's good.
Because how you
See,
see it.
That's good. That's good.
What you think, Johnny? Can you say something other than it's good?
excuse the see.
What am I?
No. That makes it official. Now he got a mic. He got a mic up.
It needs to be on record.
That shit tonight.
Amen. I think that what I'm hearing is their roadblocks of how they perceive themselves, and what you said earlier, how they perceive the relationship with their biological father, even Chris. Before he understood the revelation of ministry, all of those things are still at work or at access in them, so that when God comes to interject a truth that is supposed to free us, those histories and those traumas and those social psychological issues stop the word from producing what it's supposed to produce in our life.
Now listen to this. Out of these group of men, Brandon was offered a job, lucrative job, and said, I didn't come here for that.
I didn't come to Tulsa.
I didn't come to Tulsa for that. I came because they wanted him to work on Sundays and the days we were having church. He said, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Do you see? So, all of my sons,
Yeah, that's right.
but the administration is so different.
Yeah.
You getting it? He has more of my spirit than anybody else. Now, why? That's the question. And don't y'all be offended, but I need you to see this.
Come on now.
It's because where he has decided to sit,
That's right.
A revelation. Yeah.
where he has put me in his heart,
Yeah.
where he's decided to put me in his thought process. That's why he can partake. Me and Brandon can have a conversation that me and John can't have.
That's right.
Me and John can have a conversation that me and Brandon can't have. So, but these are my sons, and they are individuals.
Yeah.
I ain't lumping y'all together.
That's right. Come on now, Bishop.
So when I deal with you, this is not my wife, what she said. She said, well, you have, because I get on about something, and she said, well, you're having a bad day. As if I can't have a bad day and correct you.
Right.
Perception. So I gotta change how I think. So I gotta change. Y'all understand. So I gotta change how I think. I gotta change how I perceive. Because if I tell you, if you go outside that door before 4 o'clock and you make that and you turn that left hand, they're gonna cut your head off. Now, it's what you do with that information that's what's gonna determine whether you heard God or not.
Right.
These are men. These ain't boys. These are grown men who they have jobs. They work. They have kids. You have kids? You kind of little have kids, but you got them.
Well, you know.
All right. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? They are grown men, and they have a right to process whatever way that they want to process. But this is the problem. If their processing is off, that means that they are off. And that means that the family is going to be off.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My job is to correct. That's my job. So if I see something off, I got to call you. I can't worry whether you're getting mad or not. I'm disappointed. Our word you use, irritated. Can't worry about that. I can't live in that realm with you because God, my spiritual father is true. It's true story. I said, we was riding one day, and I said, tomorrow, God is going to heal the relationship between you and your father. And he says, I don't live on that ramp. So in other words, I don't deal in pain. I don't deal in hurt. Don't live on that ramp. Listening? I don't live on that ramp. Y'all hearing me? Ramp. So I don't walk around with unforgiveness in my heart. That's what he was saying. Next night, we go up in the realm of the spirit.
Come on.
We go to hitting stuff. So real simple. I told his dad to come up. I told my dad to come up. I said, I want you to embrace. I said, Father, behold your son, son, behold your father. They embraced and went out. 3 or 4 minutes later, here come all the kids, all the grandkids. Am I lying with you now? Who was that? They were in a huddle. It was messed up.
Yes, sir.
My dad gets off the floor. He takes the mic. You were there. And he says, Prophet, you've come in here. The night before, he said, on litter. He said, but God took me out of my spirit, out of my body, and let me look at my spirit. And he said, it was holes everywhere. He said, I did not know I was hurt that bad. Y'all listen. I don't live on that realm. When I tell you that every problem you got now, every problem you got right now, it comes from who, when, where, and how you were raised.
Oh, yes.
If your father was anything like mine, I know you're crazy. My father would emotionally dog you in your emotions. You're trying to help him, and he would emotionally say crazy stuff to keep you off. But that was part of the game, see. But so when he had his stroke and he would have to live in my house, I was angry at him. I was mad. You listen? Can I just be real?
Yes, sir.
And he said he wouldn't let them change it. And I didn't have time to change it. You know, and so I went in there. I said, you don't deserve what we're doing for you. This is hard.
Yeah.
The brother said, Bishop, he's sick. I don't know nothing about it. He acting sick. I'm gonna push you over the head out over that curve. I'm serious on the heart attack. Now see, y'all look at. But listen, I'm talking about our dynamic now.
Yes, sir.
He was terrible. Some of the things that he done, he lied on me, said I was stealing his money and I stole checks and all, just lying. You listen? So he landed up at my house, and my house smelling like a nursing home. He was 100%. He was total care. We had to feed him out of a feeding, put his medicine, crush it, and put it in a feeding tube. Every hour.
Yes, sir.
You listen, comb his hair, cut his hair, shave it. We had to do all that, wash him. We had to do all bathing, all of that.
All of it.
And you talking about, I ain't gonna. I said, Lord, I ain't playing with you. I'm gonna do this anyway. Till I almost killed him. Then I guess. So I'm just tell you what happened. So you know, I told she started getting him out the bed because he was progressing. So they told me to set him up, let him sit there 5 minutes, bring his feet around, let him sit 5 minutes, pick him up, put him in the chair. Got him in the chair. He started smiling, and then he started fainting. So I picked him out of the I picked him up,
Body slammed him.
threw him back in the bed, and you could see his chest doing that. I said, the devil said in an audible voice, you have killed your daddy. He's dead. You've killed him. My nerves, faith left
the building. If it wasn't for that boy right there, Sam would have died that day.
Yes, sir.
But he told death, be still.
Yeah.
He did that. Because he was doing what he saw his father
Right,
do.
right.
So, God bless you. See the difference though? 4 men. Huh? But how they take in information was completely different. Brandon said, I want to be right with you and God. These other 3 said, you heard me? You said you're talking crazy to me. Not, I deserved it.
Right.
See, question to ask. Do I deserve that?
Right.
Is what he's saying true?
Right.
If it's an automatic, I'm hurt, but you did not go look at, is what he said to me true?
Come on.
Because if it's true, I gotta reconcile it. I can't, and you should be fighting no more. It's hard to kick against the prick. Truth, it's hard to kick against it. Now, I want to say this, and I am done. I am done. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say thank you, because you've walked me through some really hard seasons in my life. And I know that if I didn't have your guidance in my life as a father, even though I didn't know how to always receive you as a father, that I would be like somewhere crazy. So I really appreciate your role in my life. And if nobody else tells you, you've done a really good job, mistakes and all, because literally, if you save one person, I feel like God is pleased with you. So I know some people have hurt you along the way. I've probably even hurt you. But you continue to love and forgive people. So I admire that about you, and I appreciate your role in my life.
Well, I love you too, baby. Anybody else? Yes, Mom. Now, y'all not gonna make me cry up in here. Mom, Jay, tell him to stop.
Dad Calvin, I just want to say I appreciate you. I do love you. I might not come to you all the time, but I do love you. I'll be telling people about this church. And I was prayed here, and I felt like a part of it anyway before I came a member. And I'm always talking about the gates. And when I say the gates, I say, Dad Calvin, he's my daddy. And Pastor John and Pastor Brittany, they are the pastors.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say the gates of refuge, life-changing prophetic ministry, because I'm proud of this church. And when I told you about my information getting stolen, they brought it back, but I had to cancel it. And they study going around doing things, and I'm going through a lot of different things. And my Social Security card and hers, they started using it and trying to, it's just kind of messing me up, and I'm believing and trusting in God, but yet he's blessing. And I appreciate everybody here. I really do. I love everybody. Because God is love, and I don't like hurt.
All right.
And hurting anybody and people doing me wrong, but I did put a police report out, and they gonna get it, but they study going around doing stuff. And
We're gonna bind the devil.
Yeah.
We're gonna bind the devil.
and messing us up, me and Jordan.
Lord help us.
But I just want to say I appreciate you, Dad. I think about everybody all the time.
Yes, you do.
But I love you all, and God bless you all.
I love you, Mom.
Too.
We love
We're
you.
gonna pray for you.
I just want to say that.
Is that Africa representing tonight, today?
Yes, it is. I brought something back for you, and I just haven't gave it to you yet. But I just want to say this, and I'm gonna stand up when I say this, because I can't say I have been one of the best kids to you, but I appreciate you. You my daddy, and I'm your daughter, and where you go, I'm going to. I want you to know I have this, and it's a shirt. You're the only one that got one. and it says Wasai on it. And the Wasai are honorable people. And this is what I learned. The tribe, they choose them for security, protection, all of this. So when I seen that, I said, that's Bishop. So when you wear it, I want you to wear it because it's denoting honor and respect.
Wow.
So it's been sitting there looking, I was like, I need to get that to him, but I wanted to come to the house and try to catch you. But I just want you to know that I honor you. My actions have not always shown it. When you thrown the cold shoulder, when he walked by you, when he shift his spirit, I was like, Jesus, what is that? He's showing me you always mad. You ain't pleased with your actions. I hear you. Pray, T. Pray, talk, pray. Come on, God. Okay, God. But it's been disrespect, and I repent openly for every area that I've fallen short. And I thank you, and I love you. I love you. I love everybody in this church.
Beautiful.
I just want to say, modeling what you did before you even walked into the weight of this today, that Bishop, if there's anything that we have done that's offended you, that has hurt you, that has broken your heart, if any time we took advantage of the anointing on your life, if any time we took advantage of even your physical home, where we walked in and eaten out of your refrigerator without asking, or if we have disrespected your family, your children, your wife, if we've disrespected even your marriage, if we've said things that have not been nice, if we've released things in the atmosphere, if we've had an attitude while you've preached, if we've huffed and puffed when you've asked us to do something, if we have quietly talked about you behind your back, if we have dishonored this church, if we have dishonored the vision that you have built in this city, Bishop, we sincerely apologize. I sincerely want you to know that from this day forward, Bishop, we will honor you. We truly repent, and that means we change. Even our tone when we talk to you, even our language when we are around you. Bishop, we will honor you. Those who had an ear today, we heard what the Spirit was saying. We heard what you were saying. So today, in front of all of these witnesses, I repent. I want you to know that there has not been a word that you have spoken that's fallen to the ground. I honor the God voice on the inside of you. I honor the biological father on the inside of you. I honor the spiritual father on the inside of you. And it is because of that, Bishop, that for the rest of my life, I want you to know that I love you, that there would never be anything that I would do to intentionally hurt you or your heart or your feelings. And so today, in the name of Jesus, we heard what the man of God said, and we will respond in obedience today. I want you to know that I love you, and I'm asking you to forgive me.
Yeah. Amen. God, I thank you.
Well, don't hear nothing from me, Bishop.
Well, come on, Mama.
But Tanisha, when she come to your house, and she asked me, do I want to go?
Come on, Mom.
I do, but I'll be afraid to go over there.
You're always welcome.
I don't know why, but I just be afraid.
Well, don't be.
And I know sometimes I come to church and I don't speak to nobody. And nobody has done anything to me, but I be thinking about my mother. I think about my son. And that's no reason for me to be the way I am to anybody. And I want to apologize. And I want to apologize to you, Bishop. I thank you for talking to me about my mother, but I still haven't got over that. And I thought about what you said. Once they die, you can't say anything to them. And I don't know what to do about it.
Love her.
I pray. I can't
Just
get
love
to
her.
her.
Just love her.
I have to love her from afar.
That's fine. Just love her. That's all.
And everybody in this church, y'all are a blessing. When I go to Kansas,
Love you, Mother.
thank you. When I go to Kansas, I'm always talking about Bishop. I talk about Pastor John and Pastor Brittany, Pastor Brandon, his wife, and pastor over there. I'm not good with names, so I apologize. So I just want everybody to know, if I come to church and I don't speak, I don't mean anything about it. Just forgive me. And I do love everybody. Believe it or not, I do. And if I'm feeling stuck up or anything, I don't mean anything. Just forgive me. Because everybody's been good. And I want you to know I love everybody. And if there's anything I can do to help anybody, I'm willing to do it. Okay? Thanks. I want to thank everybody. I get a little emotional. Tanisha told me I shouldn't be like that. And that's just being an old 71-year-old lady. I get emotional. So God bless everybody. And I hope you continue to put up with me. All right.
We love you, Mom.
I, as a son, know that I've hurt your heart. And in the midst of that, Pastor John told me, while I hurt you, your concern was still me.
Lord, help us.
Y'all need to check and see how Zach is doing.
Help us, Lord.
You know me well enough to know that I have a huge loyalty component, but when I'm embarrassed, I can go into myself. I never stopped coming here through that because of what you put in me. I didn't have that before I got to Tulsa. God called me to Tulsa. He called me to you. Though I hurt your heart, you still were a father who loved his son.
That's all right.
I can never repay you for showing me that. I appreciate Calvin Bruce Johnson as my father. You know you're my daddy, right? You know for sure. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure you know that you are my dad. I appreciate everything you've done for me and my wife, our families, as crazy as they are. You know the history.
Listen.
But I want to say again publicly, because I don't do this. I repent for any hurt that I've caused you, your marriage, your household. I repent. I resubmit myself to this ministry, to you, because I trust you.
Amen.
I trust that you would never leave me wrong, and you would never have. There are still words over my head that you pronounce, and they're still there. I'm not giving up on them. Even though me and my wife have the Gates record for not having any kids, they're coming. I understand that. But as a son, and for the sons who can't be here today, we love you. We act up sometimes, and you have every right to come whoop me when you, Zacko, what's this I'm feeling? Well, but you know that I'm going to always tell you the truth. That's true. Say it again. That's true. All right. You ain't got to worry about me not ever telling you the truth, because I know who you are in my life. I know who God has set over me. And for that, I want to say thank you. I love you. If you need me, I will go. Hey, Zach, I need you to go to Africa. Okay. Whatever it is that you need from Zachary Macarons a second, you have it. If you need my little $25, you got it.
Come on.
All right? I love you.
Love ya.
Say amen for me.
I want to say something.
Come on, Pastor.
You know that I'm not one of many words, but I was one of the ones that's been here from the beginning. And at one point I did leave, but I came back. And so I would not miss this opportunity to tell you that I love you. I love you, Bishop.
Amen.
You have never steered me wrong. Even when I didn't do a lot of things that I was supposed to do. You never steered me wrong.
That's right.
And I was one of the ones that you had to rebuke many times. But I didn't take it like I wanted to just tear up our relationship. And it didn't matter to me what others thought. it was. But I just want to say thank you because you've been there for me. And I could not ever imagine you not being there for me. You've always been my bishop. You've always been my pastor. And I just want to tell you thank you and that I love you.
I love you too, man.
Ooh. What?
Go ahead, Miss Pop.
Sing a song for us.
No, sir. No, sir.
Come on, mother.
Well, and I'm not going to stand up because
That's okay.
like the older I get, I'm not that person I was.
Got it.
So I understand what you're saying too. The older you get, you kind of change inside. But I would like to say that I really do appreciate you for the sake of my young men. They used to confuse me because they would say, when I talk to daddy, I'm like, your daddy called you.
Don't do that.
But didn't realize they were really talking about you. And for a while, it kind of bothered me because it was like, I raised these boys.
Come on, Mom.
And
Yeah, be honest. It's all right.
everything they want to do, they got to check with Bishop. What is good here? I raised these children by myself. And everything they want to do, they like, no, I got to check with Bishop. I be like, you can't come to my house until you check with Bishop. What is the problem? But I can honestly say that I do appreciate you. And I know I'm kind of standoffish. But I appreciate you. I see the love that you have for your flock. I've been in several churches. But I see the love you have for your flock. And I know what you go through for your flock. But we pray God blesses you with many more years.
Yes.
Much more wisdom, because you got a lot of wisdom. And we appreciate that. And I hope that you guys appreciate what he has.
Yes.
Pull on. Get under that thing, as he said. Get under that thing. Stick with him. Lift him up. And definitely lift his wife up.
Yes.
Because I stood in her shoes.
Yeah.
You respect him, but then you disrespect her.
That's right.
You don't do that.
That's right.
That's not pleasing to God.
That's it.
You just wasting your time. Don't do that. I appreciate him, love him, love his wife.
Amen. Amen.
Say the same.
Yeah.
Don't go in that house and disrespect him.
Come on.
You disrespecting God.
Yeah.
Preach.
Okay, I'm hushed right now.
You ain't got
Gotta preach, Mama.
Thank you, Mom. I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Hi, Sherry.
Okay. I could not let this opportunity pass. Thank you is not enough for who you've been. I know you have put your foot on the devil's back in my life, and you told death, not here, not today. I just want the church to know, I have a biological brother and a biological sister. You surpassed them all. When I woke up, many mornings, you were there.
Yes. Come on now.
They never came. You said, why are you crying? I thought they were coming. But you always showed up. Every pivotal, hard place in my life. When my father died,
Come on, Mom.
you were there. When my mom passed,
Come on. on now.
You showed up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And not just that, but your spirit is so big. It's in your sons. I used to get in trouble with the wives because they say you take their sides. But I saw your spirit in them. When I divorced Mel, when the judge said it's over, I ran to Chris. He was there for me. But I knew he represented you. Every hard place I've ever been. Since I met you 17 years ago, you've been there for me. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate everything. I love you. I always will love you. Our relationship has gone through hell and high water. But I will never, ever, I will never turn my back on you. Ramaya is my daughter. Your kids are my grandbabies. Well, not crazy, but you know, they're my kids too. I love your family. I thank you for this house. This house saved my life. The Gates of Refuge, life-changing. Sometimes I would say life-saving prophetic ministry because it saved my life.
I told y'all not gonna make me.
We not. You standing tall, Bishop.
You stand tall. Keep your eyes dry. I just wanted to say that it really just has to do with the child having a revelation of who you are, and until anybody gets that, of what place they're supposed to be in your life, they won't understand. If you are considered a Johnson, then they walk with your spirit.
That's right.
They love how you love. When I had my father was in and out of my life, drug use, jail, but I still was a daddy's girl, so it didn't matter. And so he passed when I was 18. And what you just said to Jessica about how do you know that your dad didn't, I literally had a revelation that that's what my dad did.
Wow.
I feel like my dad went to God on my behalf to put you into my life.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't been the same since I met you. The first time you had to chastise me, I had to get my life together because I never had a man chastise me before.
Come on now.
But although I was hurt and my feelings were hurt, I knew you did it in love. And because of that love, it has caused me to grow. It has caused me to mature. And I remember a person saying to me one time when I was talking about possibly getting another job. And they said, well, they told me, maybe you need to get another job. And I said, well, I have to ask my dad first, if that's okay. And the person said, what you talking about? That's too much control. Like, what do you mean you got to ask him? You got to pay your bills. I said, listen, I don't know about you.
Right.
I said, but this man's track record is proven in my life. And I know what happens when I don't listen. And I know the difference when I do listen. And I trust you with my life. The word that you spoke over my head, that I shall live and not die, and declare the works of the Lord, pick me up off of the hallway floor. So it don't matter what nobody else has to say. I know who you are in my life. And the sisters always tease me because that's my daddy. I don't care. I don't know what. I don't care how long you've been around, but that's my daddy. But I say it because somehow you have a grace to have all of these children, but still make me feel like I'm your baby. I don't know how you do it and I don't care, but I'm grateful. And I thank you for everything, whether it was food, whether it was money, whether it was a hug, whether it was you chewing me out, making me cry, and then telling me to call you back when I stopped crying. Whatever it was to force me to do right. And when you get a revelation that all you want is the best, and you have somebody in your life that wants that for you,
Because you don't have to do any of this.
Nothing.
You don't have to do any of this. You could have told God no, but you didn't. And I honor you. And if I've done anything to hurt you,
Yes.
I repent. When you know that you have a person in your life that has truly saved your life, if you look at where you would be without that person, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Like I texted you the other day and told you I was praying for you. And all I could do was just thank God that you were, we don't talk every day.
Come on.
But I know you pray for me. I don't come to your house every day.
Period.
But I know if I need something, you got me. Because I trust you. Because I know you. And because your track record is proven. So whoever doesn't understand that was what I saw today. I saw weights falling off of you. God said freedom. I saw freedom. Get free. Get free because you have to do, you got places to go to have dead weight holding you back. If they can't recognize who you are, you have purpose, you have destiny, you have somewhere to go. And we as your children are supposed to have your back and push you in that. And if they're not doing that, then they got to move around. And that is where as a daughter, I get protective. And I want to fight because you're not going to disrespect and dishonor this man when I know who he is and what he's done. So you can only come around when you're getting his benevolence. But when you have to deal with the other side, then you don't want to deal. So guess what? Move around.
Go ahead, Thug.
Because it makes me angry because there are other people who need his love. And you taking up a spot and wasting time. And you don't want to do right in the first place. It makes me angry. So I'm just saying right now that I love you. And these people have expressed their love to you. But Dad, you just don't understand. Like a lifesaver to my children. This little man right here, he ain't been here that long. I told him last week, when you go to church, you better be a good boy because Papa gonna get you. He said, ooh, that's a scary dude. But even in that today when he saw you, he ran around there and gave you a hug. So even though you can be a scary dude, he still knew that you loved him. And that's where we got to get to. That no matter if you're chastising us, if you're rebuking us, you're doing it because you love us.
Yeah.
So I love you.
Amen. And TT.
I actually have a question. As you were talking about people who have disrespected you and how you're having to, they're going to have to move around. And I'm concerned about my heart because I've been wanting to ask this question for a while, and I think this is the perfect opportunity. How do you be done with people that you still have to kind of have a relationship with, whether it's work or family or whatever? How do you be done with people but not walk in unforgiveness?
Okay, let me explain to you. Okay. Okay. Two people need $100. You're going to give both of them $100. One of them, you love them, daughter, love them, relationship. The other one is benevolence. So I'm going to continue being who I am and what I am. They just don't get the inner cord. They don't get to see to give my life to you is you get to see my wounds, my mistakes, my mishaps. I can't tell all of the crazy stuff that I done to the masses, but there are people who I feel that close to when I can expose. I like talking to my children about my infirmities. It's also ministry for them, you too. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that I can shift you to the other side, and you will never know that I'm not fathering you no more. But I ain't fathering you no more. Because you're not ready for this. You gotta grow. You gotta grow You got to grow into this. Because to get your behind whooped by your father, that means to get your behind whooped by your father. And you say, and you say, I did it, I was guilty, I'm wrong, I'm gonna take my spanking. That's it. But some of y'all can't handle that. You can't handle weighty truths about yourself. And that's what's frustrating, because that's the thing that's keeping you from ascending to where God wants you to ascend to.
Jesus.
So it's also frustrating to me. I would love for a lot of y'all to go with me on the road. You need to go at least one time. Because what we do here is totally different at that. Just a whole nother, y'all think I'm a beast here. I'm like 3 beasts when I go out. But that was a good question. Very good question. 2 more? Okay. We got to go home. Yes.
Okay. So sorry, I was just gonna let you finish teaching. So I just wanted to say thank you. I do have a father, but he is just not active. So coming here was a completely different awakening. But I just want to say who you are and your spirit is just so big, like it will forever be unmatched. And you can also tell that in like your leaders that you have, you're like the men and the women. Since being here, I can pinpoint different times from like Chris, Pastor Brandon, Pastor John, Pastor Brittany, like these different people that you have imparted your spirit into, like they are identifiable like through different walks in my life. So I just want to say thank you for just being who you are. And I feel like one time it was so creepy, like when Mama Sharon was at the hospital and I went to see her, I got on the floor and I felt your spirit hit the floor. And I was like, what the freak? And you were walking on the floor. And for me, that was a real life reference point of how big your spirit is and all that you carry. So as a sheep, I just appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate who you are. I appreciate your sacrifice in walking this stuff out, dealing with people like me. I'm just saying me. Because it isn't easy for someone to have a physical father and not know how to interact or engage because he's just simply there. So when I go and I get on y'all Wi-Fi, to me that's big because my fathering issues are different. So when I get on your Wi-Fi and you like, are you just here for Wi-Fi? I'll be like, dang. On Wi-Fi. Or or just like, or if Pastor Brandon calls, like, for me, because of what you have imparted in these men and women, with my leadership calls, I reference that as people of God are calling because of who you are. So I just appreciate you and every single leader that has done anything in my life. I love y'all so much. So much. Because every person in my family is just there. So coming here and interacting with like Pastor John or Pastor Britt or you or Mama Sharon, for people like me, y'all have to understand that it is life changing to have a mother, and just have a mother, but to have Mama Sharon because of what you've imparted. To have a brother, but just have a brother, but then have a Pastor Brandon because of what you imparted. It just hit different. So I just thank y'all so much, and we appreciate you. And just the Gates in general. So I love y'all. That was it.
I love you too. Okay, y'all. Okay.
I'd just like to say thank you for being my papa and for coming to my school on Grandparents' Day when no one else could make it, and for helping my family when we needed it, and for helping my dad when he was younger, and covering our family and our household, and for rebuking fear and everything I needed. I love you.
That was sweet, Juice.
All right.
Juicy fruit.
We ain't crying today.
I refuse to cry.
I'm gonna say, you know, if you never win a race, you'll still be my horse.
Never win another race.
No, but for real, on behalf of me, Mia, Christian A, CJ, Kamaya, Landon, Lanaya, I want you to forgive us.
Yeah.
I repent for the disrespect.
Okay.
On behalf of my mother. That's the whole side of the family. Every word that was said,
Come on.
I repent for it. You are a good man.
Yes.
You are a good father.
Come on now.
You are a builder.
Come on.
I ain't gonna do it. And you, I've seen you pour time after time again. And you still just do you. I remember just the car rides to church and you like, I don't know what we're gonna do. I remember the going through and losing everything and still seeing you say, blessed be the name of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
I watch you say, so-and-so is coming, just scoot over. So-and-so is coming, get a blanket.
Oh, God.
So, thank you, Calvin Bruce Johnson.
Yes, sir.
For not giving up on your own call. Thank you for being who you are. And I affirm you as your son, as your blood son, that you are a good father. You are a come through. I don't care what nobody say. You got to come through me. And I'm grown now. So. Sometimes it's a whole nother beast. But I love you. And forgive me and my siblings for all the disrespect, all the hurt, all the grave hairs that we have caused you. And yeah, I can't do that because we ain't. But I love you.
All right, can we done? Thank you. I mean,
Yes, check 1 2 1 2. I got a flow for you. Nah, Bishop, we don't talk a lot, and really, make a long story short, I never really understood the relationship or the foundation of a father. As growing up into a man, 33 years old, still growing. I'm still learning. You've rebuked me. I have been pissed. I have been upset. I ain't ashamed. I ain't scared of y'all. I don't care about what y'all talking about. This is me and Bishop talking. So I think maybe the last time you rebuked me, I was upset. In all honesty, I was hurt. We had a conversation, and you still rebuked me. But God rebuked me, and He said, "That's my son. He gonna do what I tell him. He gonna do what I tell him to do." And so, if you're caught red-handed, put your hand up. Guilty, but I plead the blood.
Come on.
And so, I just want you to know that I'm sorry for being disobedient, for being hard-headed, for walking around sometimes with a chip on my shoulder, even for not speaking. I really apologize, and I want you to know that I'm sorry. I think about you a lot. I'm a man, and I know when I see a man that's hurt. I don't care what age he is. I know when I see a man that's hurt, and I want you to know that I love you. And I'll get down for you. Like real talk. I was at US Cellular. and the man talked about your situation, and I ran the man